Welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast. Happy December, everybody. Most wonderful time of the year. I'm Brett Merriman, your host of the Mail-In Podcast. To my right, my lovely co-host, the one and only Sally deFries. Hello, Sally. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm a little ill.
Just a little under the weather, huh?
I've said that like every time we've recorded for the past like 8 times, but I'm not. I've got a toddy.
A hot toddy?
Well, it's like sans alcohol. I made like it's tea and lemon and honey, like really hot tea.
No bourbon at 8:30 in the morning.
But I made it and I came into work because coffee just didn't sound great.
Yeah.
And I saw y'all had some Woodford Reserve up there on top of the fridge, and I was like, should I just fucking do it? But I have to take Fritz, the pediatrician, in like 2 hours because he's got hand, foot, mouth again, I think. So.
Hand, foot, and mouth. That like you can't catch hand, foot, and mouth from your child, can you?
No, adults can catch it.
Oh boy, okay.
It's very rare.
Okay.
Because it's pretty contagious in little kids, and mostly like 90-something% of the people who get it are like under the age of 5.
Interesting.
But
kids are wild, man. They feel like they're little sick machines like 90% of the time.
Well, because they're just like they don't know how to like keep their hands to themselves or like cover their face when they sneeze or cough.
They're just
like going up to each other, like licking each other, and it's gross.
They're like little puppies.
Yeah.
How was your Thanksgiving, Sally?
It was great. It was really chill. We didn't do very much. We had Thanksgiving on Friday.
Very cool.
And I made a new stuffing recipe. It fucked.
There were rumors going around this office yesterday that your stuffing was goated.
Yeah. My mom's stuffing is great. She makes a cornbread one, but I was trying something new this year.
Okay.
Well, sausage sage.
Sausage sage. That's a tough
sage and whatever else. Anyway, the real goat of the show was on Saturday when I made Will a Thanksgiving leftover sandwich.
Okay. What was the bread you used? What was the vehicle
Sourdough
of choice? Yep,
bread.
That's a good one.
Then you had the stuffing, some provolone cheese because that's what we had.
Yep.
Then the other side was mayo, turkey, cranberry sauce, and then I
smoked it
together, and then we had gravy on the side. He dipped it like an au jus, like.
My mouth is watering right now.
Yeah, it was really good. You know who makes a good one? That's the reason I did that is because Easy Tiger does something like that.
Yes, they do. Easy Tiger, shouts to their bread.
Yeah,
that fucked.
They make a sandwich like that I've had multiple times, and it is really good.
That sounds
have to go pick it up.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
right now.
Lunch for you.
I might do that today. Literally, I might do that. I brought out my dad's mac and cheese recipe at Thanksgiving, and similar talk of MVP going around.
Were you at a family? Do they have mac and cheese a lot, or was that like a new thing for them?
No, that was a very new thing for them. That was like whoa, are we sure about this guy? You know?
Yeah, I think that's it's a very specific group of people who have mac and cheese at their Thanksgiving. We normally don't do it. We've done it like 1 or 2 years when I was just like, oh, I'll do mac and cheese.
Yeah.
But my brother's girlfriend straight up pitched a fit when she found out we weren't having mac and cheese.
Oh no.
I mean, it was fine. But I think we're gonna, now that she's probably gonna be part of the family, we may have to add mac and cheese into the mix.
I think it's just a solid side to include.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just adding to it's another beige food, which is obviously a requirement of a Thanksgiving plate.
Yeah.
But I think the mac and cheese at Thanksgiving debate is tired. It's like LeBron versus Michael Jordan. It's like, okay, we get it. Just do mac and cheese if you want. But I think it was the collective, like where I was at this year for Thanksgiving at Rachel's family's place, straight up, never had it before.
Yeah.
And everybody was raving about it. Had to send the recipe to multiple people the next couple days. And I think I'm just going to do Dad's mac and cheese every year, which started because I couldn't eat meat growing up. So my mac and cheese was Thanksgiving meal for me, like Kraft, way back in the day, because I couldn't have turkey. I didn't like the other stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit of a picky eater, and so it just kind of evolved into the recipe it is today, which is 4 cheeses.
The 4 cheese mac and
I
cheese.
can't tell you.
Yeah.
Can't tell you. That's a family secret, but
It's
it
a
went off.
secret blend of cheeses.
It's a secret blend of cheeses, yes.
Okay.
Randy, do you have mac and cheese on Thanksgiving? That's a no from Randy. He did have a good plate, though. I did see that, and he went to Buffalo Wild Wings. Big Thanksgiving weekend for Randy. Shouts to his Purdue Boilermakers as well, and shouts to you guys, because you make the Mail-In podcast go round. What do we do here? We answer your questions, get a laugh in, maybe walk away with something useful. Please tell a friend about this pod. Subscribe on iTunes, follow on Spotify, hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. By the way, a lot of voicemails in the hopper, none today, because I just have to go through them. So thank you for leaving voicemails. I will listen to all of them. Maybe we'll have a voicemail exclusive episode coming up. You can run in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast as well. Hit up the new store, washmedia.shop. New stuff coming like pretty much every day. Pretty cool over there. And hit up the new YouTube to see our beautiful faces. YouTube.com/Mail-In Podcast. Sally, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hello, Mail-In crew. So my girlfriend and I just broke up. We celebrated her birthday on November 5th. Took her out to a really nice dinner with gifts totaling approximately $500. On the morning of November 6th, she told me she no longer sees a future with me and we need to end things. She kept the gift. Can I Venmo request her for the gift and half the meal? For context, we've been dating for about 3.5 years and the breakup caught me by surprise. I feel very used. Or should I chalk it up to the cost of doing business? Yikes.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
Getting blindsided after 3.5 years really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Getting blindsided in general sucks, but getting blindsided after that long sucks. Like she should have broken up with him before. She probably didn't want to ruin her birthday.
Well, what if the birthday was sort of the kind of like the last straw or something like that? Like things were going okay and she didn't know, and then something happened during the birthday dinner that was just like, I can't. I'm out.
I mean, if you've been with someone for 3.5 years and you let your decision
be based on one
hinge
dinner.
on one dinner, then like you're probably a psycho. But
that's fair.
I mean, she probably didn't want to ruin her birthday. She waited to break up with him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good look. Yes, you could Venmo her. I think that that's a trashy move. And any semblance of like y'all having a friendship or being cordial towards each other is out the window if you do that.
I agree.
Which you don't, I mean, likely you're probably not going to be friends with her. You're probably pissed at her and it's probably going to take you a while to get over her and a lot of other things. But just because you feel blindsided doesn't mean you should be petty. And it does suck. Like that sucks to spend $500 on someone and then like totally kick you to the curb the next day.
The next day, not even like a week later, the next morning.
But I have a hard time, even if you've been, dating for a really short amount of time. Like I think the most effective thing would just be to say like, that really hurt my feelings that one, you broke up with me like this, but two, like that you let me do all of the stuff for you for your birthday and didn't give me any sort of clue. Honesty is probably going to go the furthest. Like if you request her on Venmo for half the birthday gift and the dinner or whatever, she's going to dine out on that story for decades about how her ex-boyfriend asked for money,
half the dinner.
And like, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that person.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're well within your right to send a pretty strongly worded text here. Just like, what if you were going to break up with me? Why did you let me do all this?
Yeah,
like, and keep the gift. I don't know. I think that's where you kind of angle it here. The money is probably like you said, the cost of doing business at this point.
Yeah,
but you can certainly get a point across here,
right?
That is non-monetary. I think that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
In
It
this
absolutely
economy, do
sucks.
we really wanna be spending $500 on people who hate us? Like, no.
Probably not.
But
No.
but also, like, that's the cost of your current dignity, probably.
The cost of current dignity.
Yeah,
That's
because
an economic indicator these days.
you don't wanna be the petty, like, person. I mean, you
Yeah,
can be.
you can be, you certainly can be, and if you did, I wouldn't poo-poo you for it because, like, yeah, $500. It's one thing if it's $80 at Texas Roadhouse, but, like, 500, I mean, that's yeah, $80 at Texas Roadhouse, me and Randy, that's like 9 daiquiris.
Can you get daiquiris at Texas Roadhouse?
I think that you can get whatever you want at Texas Roadhouse. Good bread there. Anyway, yeah, shoot her a text. I'm sorry the broker or the breakup caught you by surprise. I'm sorry that you spent $500 on your now ex, but I think we leave the money alone here.
Yeah.
You know, we'll never leave alone, Sally. A nice can of Vizzy hard seltzer,
Wow.
absolutely getting drank by yours truly over the holidays.
Well,
Vizzy mimosas, 12-pack. See you later.
yeah.
Over the course of a couple days, not at once. No, I'm not a binge drinker like that. But Vizzy is there for all of your holiday needs. Between gift giving and family traditions, the holidays are full of lighthearted moments that make the end of the year a little bit more joyful. Vizzy Hard Seltzer brings the joyful vibes all year round, not just at the holidays. Did you put your Christmas stuff up yet, Sally?
We did.
Day
Yeah.
after Thanksgiving? Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
Very nice. I haven't seen the tree yet. I'm looking forward to that.
It's Fritz is trying to take the ornaments off
Yeah,
of it.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's that age.
Yeah.
Any chance there's gonna be a Vizzy 12-pack underneath the tree this year?
You know what? I think there is because we're gonna maybe build a wall around the Christmas tree so that
Build the wall, they say.
he can't reach the
Yep,
ornaments.
yep.
And Vizzy 12 packs are like the perfect size and weight for him to
Oh,
not move.
look at that.
So I'm just slap a couple bills on those,
Love
put them
that.
under the tree.
Vizzy is such a delight. Mimosas, I introduced some people to the Vizzy mimosas this past week. The Vizzy lemonades are always goated, and you can never go wrong with the OG variety packs. It is the one hard seltzer with superfruit, acerola, and vitamin C. I mean, cha.
I
No
could
sugar,
probably use some of that right now.
no calories.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have to go Vizzy right now.
Yeah.
Really
get that
turn things around.
vitamin C.
Strawberry kiwi, blueberry pomegranate, black cherry lime, pineapple mango, all those the OGs. You know what it is. We are at a bar in Atlanta watching the USA soccer game,
Yeah.
doing Vizzies. We had a bucket. I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. Delightful.
Fantastic. Vizzy Hard Seltzer, flavors for every vibe. Stock up on Vizzy Hard Seltzer and so show some love for the show. Here's how to get yours. Go to VizzyHardSeltzer.com/washed to find Vizzy near you. That's VizzyHardSeltzer.com/washed. And to hear first about the latest flavor drops and more, sign up at VizzyHardSeltzer.com/subscribe. You must be 21 plus to enjoy. Please celebrate responsibly on behalf of Molson Coors Beverage Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Next one, Sally. Here we go. Hey, y'all. This question is mainly for Sally. Hypothetical for you.
Okay.
If Will's last long-term girlfriend was also a redhead, would that have been a red flag for you, Sally? I flip-flopped on this one, and I know this is not to me, but I was like, "Oh, I don't think so." And then I was like, "Well, maybe." But I don't know. What you sorry, I'm cutting your answer here.
I no, I guess. I think like that's because having red hair is a little bit more rare than being blonde or brunette or, whatever it is. Um, it seems more of like a fetish situation if somebody dates like two redheads,
Okay. Mhm.
But like,
He's actively
are
seeking
people
out
not
redheads.
allowed to like have types? Like we watched Love
No.
Island last night. And people are like, "What is your type?" And you're like, "Oh, blonde hair, blue eyes, or like tall, dark, handsome."
Mhm.
So like, what if somebody's type is a redhead?
That might just be his type.
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes down to. I don't think they're red flags. The red flag, I think if they here I let me paint you a scenario. I think it's a red flag if the first breakup was one-sided, I guess is the way I'm trying to put it, and then the person that didn't wanna break up goes on and dates somebody who's similar in, like, 9 different ways.
Yeah.
You know, blonde hair, blue eyes, t same profession, same s like, there's
You mean they're trying to rebound
if
with
you're
the
trying to
person that
recreate that person that you were into and have since moved on from without or maybe you haven't moved on, I think that's where the red flag comes in. But if a person has a type, a person just has a type.
Yeah.
I kinda think that's not a red flag.
I feel like the person who asked this has red hair, and their significant other dated a redhead before her.
Oh, yeah. I that
And
could be the
this is the
case.
thing. I mean, most people are gonna, like, have some weird caveat about whatever it is the last person that their significant other dated
Sure.
long term.
Mhm.
So, like, it doesn't matter that she had red hair. Even if she didn't have red hair, the ex-girlfriend, there would be something else to pick apart about her. Like, but the fact that she, went to college at this place or was this profession or was really tall or
Mhm.
really petite or whatever. So, like, that's just replacing one
Trait.
trait for another.
I see. What are
But Will's like a special example. His mom has red hair. So
oh, now we're
the
getting into that issue.
no, I'm just saying, like, I think that he was pretty open to redheads, you
Okay.
know?
I see that. I can see that. I'm open to everybody.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific red flags? Have we ever done that?
Um, I don't know that we've ever done that.
I know
I
that was going around TikTok for a while. Like, name your
the
red
thing
flags.
is, when I was younger, in my mid-20s before I started dating Will, like, I saw a lot of red flags and I ignored all of them. So maybe that is the biggest red flag is, like,
Sally was just running stop signs.
right? Like, it you look back and hindsight's 2020, but you look back and you're like, "I knew that guy was a douchebag." But
Yeah.
I didn't, like, let it stop me. Here's a great example.
Oh
Will and
boy.
I have recently started watching Love Island Australia.
Very cool.
The season started a few weeks ago because
Mhm.
it's summer in Australia right now.
Oh, okay. It's true.
There is one couple. The guy is the definition of a fuckboy. He thinks he's really hot. He's fine, but, like, he's very
Mhm.
into himself, and the girl seems confident, but she's, like, not that cute, and then I told Will, I was like, "This girl probably was, like, the cutest girl in her, like, very small town, so she has, like,
Hot
overconfidence,
girl confidence, yeah.
but she acts like a psychopath, which is the
Ah,
issue, and so they, like, keep it's been, like, 36 hours or something there, like, this is, like, the 1st episode,
oh boy.
and they're already, like, in fights and, like, really, like he's totally gaslighting her, and she's like, I hate him. I'm gonna, like, ignore him, blah, blah, blah." And then he is like, "Oh, no, I didn't talk to another girl. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I only care about you. Why would I fight with you if I didn't care about you?" And she's like, "Oh my god, you're totally right." Those are red flags. Like, both of those people are just
Walking red flags
and, like, you ignore so much of that shit when you're young and dumb.
and full of rum, right?
Yeah.
Um, that's funny. We'll have to do in-depth red flag episode at some
Yeah.
point. That would be fun. Let's do the next one though, Sally. First time, long time, love the pod. Keep up the great work. Thank you for listening. My question is about apartment hunting with your significant other. My girlfriend and I are both 28 and are considering moving to New York City. We very casually started looking at apartments. We currently live together, have a dog, and have been together for 3 years, so I assumed this would be a walk in the park. Dead wrong. She, for some reason, is pulling up listings that are 3 times what our current rent is. And even after adjusting for a cost of living raise, if I got a job in New York, it's nowhere near what we can afford. It seems like she just has no concept of what we can afford as a couple, despite me giving her very clear price ranges of what to look for. I currently pay the vast majority of rent, utilities, etc., but never had a problem with it because I make more than her and we split it accordingly. How do I address this or fix it going forward? I've really tried to be gentle about saying, hey, we really can't afford that right now, or that's a bit out of our price range. Here's one that's cheaper. And it still just makes her super upset and frustrated. Obviously, it'd be easier to tell her that unless she makes more money, we can't afford anything under a certain price point. But I know that's mean and too harsh, especially with what should be a fun and casual apartment search. Any thoughts would be appreciated. I'll hang up and listen. Bye bye. This is a tough one because I think New York is such an anomaly in terms of pricing and apartment supply and what you get for your money that if you haven't grown up in the Northeast, it's sort of a shock when you're looking around at stuff.
I think though this exists everywhere because every couple will go through this at some point when they start having to like make monetary decisions with each other.
Yep.
Probably what's going on. I mean, like, this has happened to me and Will. It's like when you are making some big life change and you're like excited about it, and you're
Mhm.
like, oh, like, let me start looking at apartments. This happens to me currently on Zillow where I'm like, oh, like, this is our budget, but like, let me see what's a little bit over our budget. And then you
It's
just
Zillow.
start like,
I've heard a term. It's Zillow baiting,
yeah,
and it's
it's
everybody does it.
now my Zillow keeps like telling me it's like one for you. It's like double what my budget is. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
well, I clearly clicked on too many expensive houses that now it thinks I can afford these.
Right, right, right.
Um, it's very important to set expectations very clearly right now because if this doesn't get fixed, it's going to be something that you struggle with in your relationship forever.
Mhm.
Um, it's okay to put it like very bluntly, especially when you do not have like a firm grip on each other's finances. Like you've been living together for a few years. She probably has an idea
Mhm.
of what you make and what saving and what you're whatever. But like, unless she knows the day to day of like, here's how much is in my bank account, here's how much we can afford. If we overextend ourselves, we're not going to be able to do this and that. Like, I can't give to my retirement. I can't do this.
Mhm.
Like, then she won't know. This has happened with Will and I. Like when we were, especially when I went from being in school to like actually having a job, that like tainted my whole like viewpoint of like, oh, we can afford stuff now because we have two incomes. But it was
Right.
like that's not really the case because I also then had student loans that I had to take care of.
Sure.
So it's really easy to get caught up into like, oh, we're moving to New York or we're moving to San Francisco or moving to Austin.
Yep.
And our budget is 2,000 a month, but like this place that's 3,000 a month is like really cool. And like all my friends are living in places that are like $4,500 a month. And like we could probably swing it if we just like didn't go out to eat.
Yeah.
And that is a bad, you should never ever buy something or rent something that you're like, "Oh, we can't afford it, but we could if." Like,
Yeah. We could if
you
like
don't
we
need
get a
to
raise in 3 years, like that there's caveats there.
it's the same thing. I recently was, like, watching a video about this, about, like, marry the house, date the rate, where people get sucked into buying houses, especially right now with the interest rates being really high, being like, "Okay, well, get the house because you can always refinance later." That's not the case. I mean, you can, but, like, that's a really bad viewpoint to have going into
It's
something
risky,
because you
especially
don't know that you're gonna
nowadays.
be able to refinance. You don't know what's gonna happen. So explaining this to her, like, if we get this apartment and anything happens, like I lose my job, our dog has a vet emergency
Yeah.
bill, uh, one of us gets sick, something happens in the apartment, whatever, like what we're not going to be able to afford to live at all.
Mhm.
So that is an absolute conversation you must have, especially if you've been long-term dating, especially if you're thinking about marrying this person, because I have watched people I know, like, one person comes into it not fully having a grasp of what the other person's making,
Uh-huh.
and then it's like, when you get sucked into that, like, keeping up with the Joneses thing, you're gonna let this girl, like, dictate all of that for the rest of your life and try to be keeping up with what she wants, and
Yeah.
that expectation needs to be set very firm.
Yeah, and I totally agree, and this sounds like a little bit of a tough love situation coming up. Like there's like a hey, I know this is fun, and this is we're being casual about this because it is sort of. it's all sort of it's not real yet. Like, you don't have the job
Right.
yet. She doesn't have the job yet. It's all this
Just kind
casual
of the fantasy of like what you're
hunting,
gonna do.
right? And so there's naturally going to be a little bit of fantasizing about what you can get to, because it's just like, oh well, what if you get a different job that's gives you another 20% raise, and then all of a sudden it is realistic, and it's so easy to get caught up in the
Oh,
incremental.
it's even I mean, she's clearly he said she's picking places that are 3 times their budget, but like
Right.
you and I
That's
said, it's so easy when we were house hunting, I'm like, "Well, this is our budget, but, like, this is only, a couple
yeah,
$10,000 more or whatever." But, like, nope, you have a budget for a reason,
yeah,
and when you start, like, making little concessions, you really fuck yourself
yeah,
financially if you're in a place where you're in a hole and can't dig yourself out, or you're, like,
totally.
really house poor, or you're, pinching pennies because you it sounds like this guy's being really pragmatic about it. I just don't know that she has a full grasp
Mhm.
on what their financial situation is.
That's what it sounds like. It
And,
sounds
like
like we're still we're not married yet, so we don't exactly see everything. And I think, if you've been together for, he said, 3 years, they have a dog, like, maybe this is a time where you do lay everything out on the
yeah,
table and just say, look, here's literally dollar by dollar what my income would look like in New
yeah,
York and what your income would look like in New York. So I'm showing you that what you're doing is hurting us
right.
because we literally can't do it. Like, it's not like, "Oh, we can kinda get by," and it's like, "No, we
It's
we
not
are."
like, "Oh, I could just not
Yeah,
contribute to my retirement, or I can just not pay my loans." Like,
he's kind of been soft about it moving forward. Like,
yeah.
he said he gave clear price ranges, which obviously is, like, step 1. Um, but it's just it's tough. It just is tough because now the next step is literally laying it out dollar by dollar and saying, "Okay, you're looking at this $5,200 apartment, $5,200 apartment in New York. That's more than whatever half of our combined income per month, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. We can't,
Right.
like, that's insane. We can't do that." And then she'll be like, "Well, the amenities are really nice. We don't have to pay for a gym because we have one." It's like, it doesn't work like that.
It might be worth too, like when you're having this conversation to like understand her motivation for like why she's picking these places. If it's like because her friend, because there are people who are like, well, my friends are doing it and like they're spending 70% of their income on rent. It's like, well, just because your friend's doing it doesn't
Doesn't
mean that
mean
we
it's
should do it.
right. And if you want, it sounds like if what you want is roomy, dog friendly, nice stuff, it's New York is not the place to do that unless you are balling,
Yeah.
like buku bucks balling. And that's just New York. Unless you want to live, in Brooklyn or Queens or the
Right.
Bronx or like Jersey City. Like, New York is this crazy beast of a market. And
Yeah.
best of luck navigating it, especially nowadays. But yeah, I think it's just fixing this is getting as granular as possible with her and laying every single thing out and probably having her do it too and saying, "Okay, I need to know what you make. I don't if it's been 3 years and we can't discuss, like, to the dollar amount what you take home each month, that's only gonna perpetuate this problem. So just, like, lay it out for me.
Yeah.
What do you have here? What do you have here? What do I have here?" And just go, battleship it. Just lay it all out
Right.
on the table, and I think that's the move here. And then you don't even need to do that in a tough love situation. That can just be productive, and then it's sort of maybe she gets to the point after that
Yeah.
where it's like, "Hey, we're not just discussing, like, cozy ranges anymore. Now we're discussing to the dollar amount. What is possible?"
Right.
Next one.
Yeah.
"Hey, Brett and Sally. I moved to Chicago this year for a new job and was recently laid off. It was a tech adjacent startup, so I wasn't too shocked, but I feel like at a bit of a crossroads now. I have a long distance girlfriend who lives in Boston, and I'm trying to decide if I should be looking for jobs in Chicago or Boston. I also used to work on tour boats in the summer, and I was asked about a year ago, Sally, to apply for the show Below Deck. Familiar with this one?
I mean, I haven't seen it, but yes, I know what it is.
I'm pretty young, so I feel like this would be my only chance to try life as a yachtie. Love that phrase. A yachtie?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Let me know what you think. Crossroads in life, Sally. Bit of a quarter life. What do I do here situation?
I
How
mean,
do you evaluate?
um, how old is he again?
He said young. I'm gonna guess
Mid-20s?
25. Yeah.
Yeah. I I mean, okay, here's the thing. Like, the pragmatic part of me is like, you should just move to Boston or whatever, like,
Mhm.
do whatever. But the crazy part of me right now is like, should you just go, like, be on a boat?
For a year?
Yeah.
You know that's where I go. You absolutely know that's what I do in this situation.
Yeah.
Because I'm all about that experience that maybe it's not the most career advancing position, being a yachty for a summer, but are you gonna look back 5, 6, 7 years from now and all the time be like, "What if I did that?
Right.
What if I missed out on that?" And again, situations for everybody are very different. So this obviously comes with, am I okay financially? Am I okay benefits wise? Can I afford to be a yacht? The yachties might make awesome money. I have no idea. Is this going to strain my relationship? Do I want it to? Can I afford to emotionally do that
Yeah.
and be on different, I'm sure different time zones and different stuff like that. And, I think by even writing in this question, you kind of want us to say, go be a yachty. And so I think that comes from an inner sort of desire,
Yeah.
in a way to say, hey, I've done the tech adjacent startup. I'm sure he did something or she did something in tech before that. Like I could find a job in Boston and Chicago and just kind of keep doing that. Or I go major, major shakeup because if it's something you loved growing up and working on tour boats and maybe you try a year as a yachty. There's always a part of me that wants to go skiing for a year and bartend and just like not off the grid, but just kind of like a reset button
Yeah.
at some point. And I think that would be super interesting for this guy or super like fulfilling in a way.
Do you think that there's an issue with the long-term girlfriend? Like,
I think we need more details on that.
well, not that like they have a relationship issue. I'm just saying, like, does that factor in at all that like I was in a long distance relationship and
Hmm.
my boyfriend who moved somewhere for a job was like, okay, I got fired. So I'm gonna just go be on a boat. I'd be like, okay, well, you took the job away from me because it was an opportunity for you, and now you don't have that job. Like, what's keeping you from being with me? Like,
Hmm.
is that like another? I feel like that in itself is very telling of a relationship. I don't know. I think if I was the girlfriend, I'd probably be like, "Are you serious?" Like,
You know what? That's fair. Very fair.
so like, it also probably depends on this guy's relationship status. Like, if he wants to like stay with this girl, I mean, hopefully she's supportive of it.
Hmm.
Clearly, she was probably supportive of him moving to Chicago.
Yeah.
But like, if that's gonna really shake up your relationship and you don't want to break up with this person, then maybe that makes your decision for you.
Hmm.
Like, I know that people get shit all the time for like, oh, you shouldn't like you should be able to like do what you want and they should support you, whatever. But like, people make decisions based on their relationship all the time. Like, that's
Totally.
also
Yeah. If you think this
very
is
normal and very okay to do.
if you think this is a long term girlfriend that you could see a potential future with, then maybe that's one of the first things that comes to mind in your decision making.
Yeah.
But if not, then maybe the yachty is the route.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you make a sort of a mental list. And the other thing I wanted to point out, or not point out, but the other thing I wanted to discuss with this was in looking for a new job in Chicago, Boston, Atlanta, New York, you name it. if you're at a crossroads in your life and you have what sounds like the means to sort of be a free agent for a while,
Yeah.
this is a great time to not take the first thing that's available and really tailor a job search if you do go that route, no matter the location, no matter the city, to what you want to do. And tech adjacent startup person, obviously a smart person, probably knows their way around the job market a little bit, probably has a pretty good resume. This is a situation where you can be selective, whether it is Boston, and know a lot of good tech jobs there, whether it is Chicago, because you're there already and it's comfortable, you don't have to move, or you kind of give the yachty thing a try for a year.
Yeah.
I think you have a discussion with your girlfriend. I think you have a discussion with yourself. I think you kind of get out and just walk along the old river walk in Chicago. I don't even know if it's called the river walk, but just this is one of those gut feeling times, and for me, I decided to gut check and move to Austin, and I don't want to put my experience as the end all be all, but that's what I'm going off of, and
Yeah.
I think the move is to follow your gut here, and maybe that gut is different than your head and maybe different than your heart, and just it's a good time, as good a time as any in your life to do something very much out of the ordinary,
Yeah.
with no responsibilities and no kids and what sounds like a stable financial situation.
Yeah.
Capiche, Randy? My man. The last few months, I have saved up money to buy an engagement ring for my girlfriend. Congratulations. I just need to go pick it out. Well, today my mom told me that she wants to give she wants to give me her ring for my girlfriend. Uh, parentheses, my dad died last year, so she wants to pass it on. And that my girlfriend always says she loves her ring. Here's the deal, I have not heard any of these conversations. So, do I take her word for it, or do I ruin the surprise and just ask her? Thanks, guys. Love the pod. Engagement ring talk, Sally.
Okay. I am of the camp that
Camp Sally.
talking about an engagement ring beforehand is like probably pretty necessary.
I think especially this day and age.
Yeah, like I have recently been helping someone pick out an engagement ring or deal with some of this stuff. And the advice I gave was that the woman he is buying an engagement ring for is very picky
Mm.
and already has buyer's remorse about a lot of stuff, even shit she buys herself.
Interesting.
So I told him, I don't think that a surprise is a good way to go for you because she's going to be wearing it on her finger for the rest of her life,
Mhm.
hopefully. And she should probably have a hand in it because she is very particular. Some people are way more laid back than that. I was will surprise me.
Okay.
Um, and the ring that I have is not something that I had like shown him or talked to him about,
Interesting. Okay.
but he used my sister and he got it right. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Like
you sister I feel like sisters in general or
most of
aunts
the
and
time,
moms
someone's
have
like told their sister, like,
yeah.
or best friend or mom or whoever, like, this is what I want. I mean,
Mhm.
I had like showed Will pictures and stuff. So,
Okay.
um, mine is a three diamond ring, something that like I literally had never shown him, but honestly, he like knocked it out of the park and I love it. If you don't want to ruin the surprise, a good way to go about it is to like ask her sister or her best friend, like,
Mhm.
hey, my mom wants to give me her ring. Here's a picture of it. She claims that Sarah likes it, but like I just want to confirm,
Right.
right?
Right.
And then, but that's the thing. Most people who are getting engaged have like talked about this at some point, like what they like. Like Will very much knew that I liked yellow gold. He knew that I wanted like no like pave anything. Like, I wanted, like, simple. So he knew a lot of that, and then
Okay.
my sister kinda helped. So, I I don't think it's out of the norm to, like, have a conversation with her and
Mhm.
be like, "So, like, what kinda rings do you like? Like, something like my mom's?" Like,
Yeah. I think if is there, like, a conversation you have where an engagement is sort of, like, gonna happen, and then you can kind of because the timing can be a surprise, the exact ring can be a surprise,
right.
but I think there's probably a pretty good benefit in sort of figuring it out, like 99% accurate.
I think it's a different situation for everybody.
Yeah, of course. Like, there's some
Um
people I know do, like, ring shopping, and she's like, "I
Right,
want that one," and it's like,
exactly.
"Okay, that's gonna be on your
And
finger in a month," or
I
whatever.
don't think that that's a problem. Like, you're gonna have something on your hand for your whole life,
Mhm.
every day, like, you should like it.
Of course.
And
Of
I don't think that's
course. Yeah.
bratty, but it's different for everyone. Like, some people wanna be surprised. So, if you don't if you can glean information from her, like a sibling or her mom or her best friend, try that route first if you don't want to ruin the surprise.
Mhm.
Someone that you can trust. And then if that doesn't lead anywhere, like telling her something to the effect of like, I'm looking at rings. What do you like? I want you to like it. And like let her describe it. And if it's totally off base, like your mom has like an oval with yellow gold and she wants like a platinum emerald, like probably not gonna
We
match up.
yeah, we gotta figure something out.
Yeah.
Do you as the girl here in this situation, would you want your boyfriend to come up and say, "Do you actually like my mom's ring?"
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah.
I think I would want to ask for sure too.
Yeah.
Because I'm a similar situation to this guy. I have my mom's ring, which was my grandma's like, there's family jewels that,
Yeah.
I will have to I was gonna say at my disposal. That sounds awful.
To use.
To use in this situation as well. My idea will be to basically take the components of those jewels and build,
Right.
like, a new one, but that has the old in it.
Yeah.
And for that, I would imagine whenever that time comes, I will be consulting with multiple individuals. My fiance to be, being one of them, whenever that may be. So I think if I'm this guy, I you ruin the surprise of maybe the engagement side of it, but you're gonna get you need to get this right, I think, and you just don't want her to forever be with a ring that she has said she likes out of the kindness of her own heart because she's doesn't wanna tell your mom, like, "Oh, yeah, I don't love that ring." You know, like, that's I think you try to get this one right, or you take the ring and, like I wanna do, kind of melt it down and make something new
I mean,
out of the old.
my ring is Will's mom's diamond.
Mhm. Yes, exactly.
So that's another way to like have something special if she's not super into your mom's ring.
Exactly. I think
And
that's a great option.
it's also nice, like, if you wanna ask her directly, but it's also nice to get the sister or the best friend involved because she probably will be pretty
Mhm.
candid with that person.
Yeah,
She may not totally tell you, like, "Mm, it's not my style and I don't like it,"
right.
because she doesn't wanna, like, hurt your feelings or your mom's feelings.
Absolutely. The sister best friend combo, you
Someone that
can't
she'll be honest with,
yeah.
and, like, I mean, props on him for, like, wanting her opinion because I think,
Yep.
you especially of like a family heirloom, it feels like really important, like you want to preserve it and things like that.
Mhm.
But like I think it's totally acceptable what Will did for me and what you would plan on doing too is like to use components of the ring so it's still special without having to like give the exact ring.
100%. I think that's kinda cool too because I get the classics and you can keep some stuff 100%. Like my dad, passed down like this old, like my grandfather's old shotgun. Like I plan on putting it above totally like non-functional, just a cool
Yeah.
piece of decor, but I don't wanna touch it. Like, I don't wanna restore it, I don't want it to shoot again, I just want it to keep its old ass look and
Yeah.
put it above a mantle or something someday. And then there's stuff like my mom's rings and jewels and that, yeah, well, I think I can modernize or make my
Yeah.
own in a way, kinda put my own spin on it or whoever I'm giving it to's spin on it, but still keep mom's spirit and kind of what was
Right.
important to her. So I think that's a great way to do this that can, you know, keep your mom's ring and jewels and everything in the family and also put what your fiance to be's style on it.
Yeah.
I think it was that's good. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Let us know how it goes.
Congrats.
Last one here, Sally. My wife and I are expecting our first child in April. Shouts. Congratulations.
Congrats.
We're looking at our baby moon and need all of the tips and recommendations. P.S. We're also due on 420. Shouts to the Fritz man.
Tight. Uh,
Baby moon, Sally. You guys went to California, right?
we did. So, likely, so if she's due in April, we did ours at the end of February
Okay.
because it was our anniversary and also because it was like kind of the last time I could fly. Most people are going to tell you you can't fly before like or like after like 34 weeks. So
Okay.
that timeline is going to be late February.
Interesting. Can I ask a dumb, ignorant question?
Yeah.
Why is that? What does flight do to a pregnant woman?
It's not that. It's that if you go into labor, you're going to not be where your
Oh.
doctor is.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Very dumb.
also the fact that you could technically go into labor on the plane, which would be not good.
Right, right, right. I was
But
like something with blood pressure and altitude and
no,
oxygen
it's
levels.
more has to do with they don't want you traveling like by car after 36 weeks because then if you go to Dallas or something, you go into labor like you're having the baby in Dallas.
Right,
You're not,
right, right, right.
which is kind of like it's probably fine,
Mhm.
but it's not your ideal situation, especially when we've been seeing a doctor for 9 months. I delivered a baby the other day. Like the woman was in town for like a funeral
Oh, no way.
and from like New Orleans, and
Oh
then
my gosh.
went into labor early. So that's why they tell you like
Got it.
don't
Okay.
travel. So normally, like the hard time no travel is 36 weeks, which would be
A month
March.
before, right?
But a lot of people will tell you 2 months before to stop, especially
Okay.
by plane, because you don't want to be too far away and
Got it.
definitely not going out of the country after that point.
Yep. Okay.
So if you go early enough, like we went to California because it was still COVID and
Yep.
we needed to go somewhere that was like in the country because we didn't want to have to like COVID test and all that shit and like
Yeah.
leave it
Yeah.
up to chance that one of us got COVID and then we couldn't go.
Right.
So I would have probably gone to like Mexico or something,
Mhm.
even though people are like, "Oh, you're gonna do that when you're pregnant? Like, what about blah blah?" I'm like, if you go to somewhere that's like,
Go to the Hard Rock in Mexico, you'll be fine.
yeah, but like somewhere that's established, you're not like in an
Yes, yes,
Airbnb in the
yes.
middle of the jungle or whatever. Um,
Ayahuasca for the
you
baby.
still do want to be, in my opinion, close enough that like if something happened, but like likely something's not gonna happen. It's
Mhm.
also important to tell her doctor, like, hey, we're planning on going to baby moon. Is this cool? And like get the okay clear. Because
Cool.
some
Okay.
people will know, like doctors ahead of time are like, oh, you're like at a higher risk. Like, I don't want you
Interesting. Okay.
traveling. So all that being said, we chose California because it was like we wanted to go somewhere warm. It was
Mhm.
not that warm. It was like 70s during the day, but I wanted to be outside. Personally, I just wanted to, like, lay on a beach and do nothing.
Mhm.
But it kind of depends on, like, what your vibe is. Obviously, places that are, like, high physical activity, like, she's not gonna be skiing 7 months pregnant, so that's
We're not
out.
we're not ripping hikes over.
And, like, being in the altitude can make you feel really sick, especially when you're pregnant.
Gotcha.
So that was out. Even though
Okay.
I was, like, down to go somewhere and, like, let Will ski, but, like, what's the point of a baby moon if he's skiing and I'm not? Um,
It's nice hotel room sitting.
and then, like big like Napa's out, you're not drinking, so, like,
It's
what's the
true.
point of that? So we needed somewhere that was gonna be warm and at the time, not overrun by COVID, which is why we didn't choose to go to Florida because they were having big spikes at the time. Because that was, like, right when we went was, like, right when was that Omicron? No, it was early 2021, so, like, whatever, what
Oh,
Delta probably was, like, hitting hard.
sure. Okay.
Um Now that that's not as, like, big of a factor, if you can go somewhere that's, like, like, depending on where you live, if you can, like, go to Cabo or you can go to the Caribbean, that's a nice thing
Sure.
because she can just lay there and have a virgin pina colada, and you can, like,
Mhm.
do whatever. That's my preferred baby mood. But if you're the type of people who, like, wanna go see a city and, like, walk around and have good dinners, like, that's find a place that's nice in February, like,
Yeah.
honestly, New Orleans is great for me in the wintertime because it doesn't stink, and it's an easy city to walk around, lots of good food, lots of, like, cool stuff to see, like, that's a good one. Um, I mean, we would have probably gone to Florida,
Okay. I was
but
thinking like a Savannah, Georgia or something like that.
Savannah would be great. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of those places, especially, like, in the South on the coast are gonna be more mild in February
Yeah,
or
because
January.
I feel like on a baby moon, and this is me talking out of my ass as a person with no babies, uh, it's kind of a less activity, more food based, less running around trying to sightsee, more like being comfortable where you
Yeah.
are and um, enjoying each other's company more than anything,
Yeah,
and
we
talking
just wanted to be
about
cozy and, like,
yeah. And I
chill.
think there's plenty of places. I think southern coastal January, February is a great
Yeah.
start. Um, And, yeah, I think you probably drop the skiing or hiking and say,
Yeah.
"Let's plan a couple dinners out or a
Yeah.
brunch or 2."
Couple dinners, lay there.
Do you, do you care if the husband has a couple cocktails in this
No.
situation?
I let Will drink. I had, like, a glass of wine,
Oh, yeah, 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 okay.
but I also was like, you're not gonna go, like,
You're not
to
going out.
Nashville and, like, go out
Broadway.
on Broadway, or
Yeah,
you're not gonna go to Napa, or because then, like, what's the point
yeah, yeah, yeah.
when you're that pregnant? It
Mhm.
kinda sucks. But, like, I had a glass of wine. I kinda prescribed to the, like, I'll have a glass of wine, but, like, it felt like liquor was, like, going too far
I
for
think
me.
that's fair. Yeah, the glass of red wine is sort of the wives' tale, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're probably fine.
I'm sure, like, I don't know, there's a bunch of different information
I'm
out there
sure you can
about
find a study at either
t
way all
to
over the place.
tell you which way to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I felt comfortable having wine. I had actually, on our baby moon, I had a frosé at the pool, not realizing
Oh.
that it had, like, vodka in it or something, and
Oh,
I
interesting.
got, like, hammered. Like, not hammered, but
Really?
I
But you were
I,
like,
like, drank half of it because I just thought it was, like,
"Yeah, a little frosé."
wrong.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, shit." I got, like, a headache. I was like, "I should stop."
Yeah.
Fritz is fine, everyone, okay? Chill out.
He's all good. He's all good.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the phenomenon known as a bachelor party?
Is that, like, when you're gonna be a dad, you go have,
Like a
like
second
a
bachelor
last?
party with the boys.
No, I have
My
not.
buddy, big shouts to Harbs. He did one in Nashville with the squad. Went to like a Nashville
Maybe
Predators
that'll be
game and
Will's. Will never had a bachelor party, so if we have another kid, he can do a
a bachelor
bachelor.
party.
Yeah.
I love that concept. I can't imagine the pregnant wife in that situation is like 100% on board,
I don't know.
but
When I was it's probably different having one kid now, but, like,
uh
when I was pregnant, I was like, "I'm gonna sleep. So, like, you do whatever the fuck
you
you
do
want."
you probably love just a weekend of like I can sleep and eat and read
And,
and
like, maybe get a massage.
yeah.
Um I told Will, like, I remember when before I got pregnant, when I was younger, I was like, "Oh, if I'm gonna be sober, you're gonna be sober too." This was not even with Will, but just in general.
Oh yeah.
And then when I was pregnant, I was like, "Fucking drink. I do not care." Like, it didn't sound appealing to me.
Yeah.
I think when you're younger and you're, like, partying and
Mhm.
being sober sounds awful when you're with drunk people, but, like, I'm at the stage of my life now, if, like, Will has, like, 2 cocktails. At one point when I was pregnant, I think there was dinner where he, like, legitimately had 5 martinis, and I was
Woo!
like, "What a" oh, it it was
Oh boy.
it was his birthday weekend, we did a staycation at the Austin Proper,
Oh, okay.
and he legit had 5 martinis, and I was like, "Whatever," like,
That's like a $400 tab right there.
yeah. I was like, "Cool, like, it's your birthday, like, we're not I do what you want, like, I'm
Mhm.
not gonna have a martini.
Yeah.
Drink for all 3 of us."
There you go.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers, Fritz.
Cheers.
That's gonna do it for us on the mail-in today. Sally, any shower thoughts before we bounce?
No, I gotta go use Zafran. I cannot breathe out of my nose at all. Sorry for blowing my nose multiple times on this podcast today.
All good. Please subscribe, rate 5 stars, review, and tell a friend about the show. Hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write it in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail In Podcast. Sally, where can the people find you?
Sally deFries on Instagram and Twitter.
And drinking a frosé with vodka by the pool. I am Brett Merriman at Schmerriman on both Instagram and Twitter. That's Randy on the ones and twos. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.